So investment properties, whether it's a 4-family, no problem. Do you cap it at 4 families, or if I have a 6-family, can I call your agency?
It depends on what product that you're talking about. If it's a homeowners, we go up to a 4-family, owner occupied. If it's an investment, we can go as many family as that property is. So,
Wow.
Yeah.
So a 10-unit, 12-unit, your agency can actually insure that.
Absolutely.
Wow. Now, there's not a lot of companies that do that out there. And I've never heard of that rental loss stuff. And that's kind of something that everybody should have if you own an investment property. If you're counting on that regular income to come in and all of a sudden that income isn't there, but you still have to pay the mortgage payment, you're telling me the agency will step in and make that payment until that house gets rebuilt, or until a coverage probably hits its max coverage, and then you turn around and refill it with new tenants.
That's awesome. That's
Yeah,
Absolutely. Well, one of the things that we see most often when I'm looking at policies for people that have these investments is that they don't have that coverage. And it's so important because, like I said, that you're relying on that income to,
Absolutely.
Pay for your mortgage and whatever.
Unless you're a really big guy that can float that that payment for a while, because you get a lot more doors if you're only got a couple investments.
If you're Elon Musk, you might be all right, but for the common man like myself, I need that rental income.
No more pizza on Friday for you.
Yeah, no more pizza and beers. Yeah. So sometimes we're in the scramble, and if we called your office on a Tuesday, how quickly does it take? If somebody out there wants to get a quote and be like, you know what, I like Sharlene, I want to find out what my insurance is going to cost. I live in Connecticut, I live in Rhode Island, I live in Mass, I live in New Hampshire, and I want to find out what it's going to cost. How much work is it for them to actually find out what it is to compare, and do you have different options to be able to say, okay, you're with this particular company and we'll crush them?
No, great question. We typically can turn everything around within an hour for people.
Wow.
So if it's something that needs to be done quickly, we make sure that we get that done in the time frame that the customer needs. Sometimes, it might take a little bit more work if we have to go through underwriting to get certain things approved, but, typically we can do same day issuance.
Okay, so someone can really find out, hey, I can save money. And there's massive differences between companies. I know you guys are up there in the top 3, 4, or 5 insurance companies in the whole country. So I would think that you guys have a really big competitive advantage. Is that safe to think?
Oh, absolutely, 100%.
So very, very cool. Any other thoughts here?
I was just thinking about, we're talking about flood and stuff. Like, how about everything that happened out at Hampton Beach, out the coast there? I mean, did you see any losses out there that you guys were, working with, or did it change the policies at all?
So it's like the second time it's flooded, or third time that Hampton's flooded in the last month and a half.
You got to build the houses on pontoons so they float around.
Good question, because those circumstances, they're so close to the water that they're in flood zones and they're required to have flood insurance, thankfully. But it's more so the areas that they're not required to have flood insurance when they get affected. So many people, are you saw it happen in Louisiana, New Orleans, where a lot of these people didn't have the coverage and now they're homeless.
If a levee breaks and floods, thousands of acres, you're in trouble, or hundreds of acres,
Right. Well, I know a lot of the land out there at the coast in New Hampshire is on leased land. Like, a lot of those houses are on leased land. Does that affect anything? Is your policy different? You just insuring the structure?
Well, it would be just the structure with the flood policies, yes. Even with when you're insuring a home, we're not insuring the land, we're insuring the property to rebuild it. So for its replacement cost, the land is typically not covered, but sometimes trees, shrubs, things like that.
So when you look at a policy and the number that's on there isn't what you think your house is worth, it's because the land has been deducted out of the policy?
Absolutely,
right?
And that's a common misconception that people don't realize. So
that's a good point.
Yeah.
So if you're out there and you have insurance, call Sharlene. She'll run all the numbers for you, make sure you got the right coverage, and then we'll hopefully navigate, cut costs. And if you're thinking about buying a house or building a house, let's call Jesse. He's got one that he just finished up. I continue to see the photos online. It looks amazing. I love the bathroom that you did in there. That's pretty cool.
Hopefully we get some furniture in there soon, and then I'll release the rest of the photographs when we get the place looking good. But it's just about ready to go.
So Jesse, thanks so much for coming in. Charlene, thank you so much for coming in. I really appreciate it. We'll do this again, okay?
Thank you.
All right, thank you.